into this industry on the life and the health side. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a very good friend of mine, Victoria Cabrera, and she has something really amazing going on with her and her girls in her agency. So we're going to talk about her journey, from beginning to now, and how she runs, her personal production and grows an agency and everything she got going on, from selling to leads, everything. All right. So let's talk about it. Let's start from the very beginning. Okay.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me. I always love to, you're in San Antonio, and that's where I am. So I always love to have like-minded people close by so we can always run some ideas. But yeah, so I'm pretty much an open book, but my name is Victoria Cabrera. I'm the owner of the Medicare Space Health and Life Insurance Agency here in San Antonio. We specialize primarily in Medicare, Medicare Advantage plans, Medicare supplement plans, and we do have a team of agents. But where I started was back in 2005 in the insurance industry, and I've always sold the health and the life side. So it's kind of where I started, and I didn't start as an independent agent. I know that's the dream, right? Everybody wants to go independent right away, but I actually put in the time in a corporate job. I started with one of the big green companies. I can't say the name, but I started with them. I got licensed. I got my feet wet. I learned how to say some of the terms of, the medical terms out there that we can't pronounce. So they had that company had some great training, and I really, I found my way there because, like everybody else, we're just trying to make more money. And I was working in a call center before that, and somebody said, "Hey, that company down the street's hiring, and they're paying about," at the time, I think it was like $15 or $12 an hour. I can't remember. I won't say how old I am, but let's say that was in 2005. Okay. I was really young. I wanted to make my own money. I wanted to have my own place. I moved from Corpus when I was, I believe, 18 or 19, came to San Antonio with $100 in my pocket. And I was always chasing that bigger pay. And so that's kind of where I started in my insurance career. And I didn't wake up saying I want to sell insurance,
Right.
I just I was always just chasing that bigger buck, and it kind of led me into my insurance journey, specifically health insurance. And I really gravitated towards it because I remembered a time when I was 16 years old. I had my own car. Me and my sister were driving to San Antonio from Corpus. We were going to go to a concert. And we had to be back before my mom found out the next day because she didn't know we were going. And I ended up falling asleep on the wheel. And on the way back on 37, which is going towards Corpus. And we were driving back, me and my little sister. She was 16, she was like 15 at the time, I think. And I actually woke up almost going under an 18-wheeler.
Wow.
And so when I woke up, I jerked the wheel, and we flipped about 8 times in my vehicle. And the first thing that happened when we woke, thank God, the Lord protected us and nothing happened to us. The car was totaled. And I remember when the ambulances came, they got us into that ambulance, and they're like, "We got to rush them to the hospital." And I remember saying, I don't know if we have insurance. I don't know if we have the money.
Oh my God.
I was only 17 at that time, but we didn't grow up with money.
Right.
And so I think when looking back, I'm like, I think that was a trigger. Like, I didn't want people feeling that, or I can't go to the doctor because I don't have the money to go there, or I have to hold off on this procedure because I don't have the means to get there. And so I think that's why I gravitated towards the health insurance side, because I was like, man, you can get insured without feeling that hit, and you don't have to avoid bad situations just because you don't have the means. So I think that's why I kind of gravitated to the health insurance side, and I've been here ever since.
I love that. I love your story, and it's similar to a lot of agents that get in the business on the life or health side, but yours, the role that played is very significant, and it's so true, because growing up, it's like, that's the thing, like we, as far as like insurance and going to the doctor and hearing your parents talk about, oh, we have to pay out of pocket, there's no insurance, or it's over the copay and all this other stuff, right? And even when we're younger, getting before we have careers and things like that, that plays a big part of the thought process, and at this point, it's not really thought of. It's just like, we have insurance, and if it's over the copay, whatever it is, it'll just take care of it, right? But um, I love that, you know, that's something that really kind of sparked your interest because
Mm-hmm.
it drives a kind of a different kind of passion,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a story behind it, a real story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure throughout the years, you probably somewhat shared that story with your actual clients and built
Yeah.
conversations off of it and common ground and things like that, to where it's
Mm-hmm.
so natural, and you know they gravitate towards you, and that you find success from it and you help people out at the same time, you
Yeah,
know.
it's a lot of you know, I'm sure you can relate in some way, but there's a lot of people that just put things off, you know, and it's a really tough time, especially right now. It's tough. I mean, it's harder and harder, but um, you know, whether you're an agent, right, trying to make it in the business, I mean, I'm sure somebody out there can relate because
Mm-hmm.
if they're just starting out and they have no money, I mean, it's hard. It's hard. It's a tough world out there. So, but you know, there's light at the end of the tunnel, right? There's always
Right.
a for me, with me, I started from scratch, like literally like negative red. You know, if you know what a bank account looks like in red, right? That's where I started. I'm not going to paint this picture like, oh, it was great and it was all like hundreds of thousands of dollars in the first year, although that is possible. But for the average agent that's starting out, I don't always like to paint this pretty picture because it is a lot of work, right?
Right.
Um,
It
so
is,
like,
and when you're wanting to do things the right way, you
mm-hmm.
know. So yeah, that's so true. That's so true, man. Keep going.
Yeah, no. So when I went independent, it wasn't until 2000 and I think it was 2013 I left my career job. I was actually with a corporate job selling PNC and health and life insurance as a broker for that company. So I in an LOA setting, right? An employee getting a salary plus commission, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I made a lot of money doing that in my 20s. And it allowed me to buy a new house. It allowed me to buy a car. So having an having an employer is not a bad thing. So for those people out there that like LOA or independent, there is no bad way. I mean, everybody is, I really, it's kind of controversial because people say, well, you got to own your business and you got to, you know, it's like, but not everybody has that capability and that opportunity to do that. So I want to say that there is nothing wrong with working for or with somebody to get your feet wet, to get that experience, to start saving money, because you are going to need to save money. You are going to need to invest in your business. And so I'm just here to say, if you're watching this video, don't feel like you have to go independent because that's what all the Facebook groups are saying. You
I
know, that's not always that's not always the way.
I love how you touched on that. Not everybody wakes up or has the capability or the tools, the resources, the mindset, you know, everything. It takes so many different variables to run the business and treat it like an actual business
Mm-hmm.
from the independent standpoint, and to really to do that and grow. I mean, you need everything. Then if you want to grow an agency, I mean, you need everything, right? And
Yep.
so there is nothing wrong with getting being an LOA, like you mentioned, and being under that umbrella until you learn. You know, you have some mentors and you
Mm-hmm.
have all the tools or resources, whatever it is, and the mindset and the savviness to then break off and say, you know what, I'm going to start my own journey now, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm in that situation where I can do it,
Yep.
because that's why so many agents, independent agents, fall out of the industry because they have none of these boxes checked. You know, you have nothing. You can't just get your license and throw a few $100s against the wall and think, you know, you're just going to grow this huge business.
Mm-mm.
You know,
Yeah, it
so
takes a
you
lot of work.
yeah, it does. It takes a lot of work, and a lot of mental capacity, you know, to keep going. There's always going to be bumps in the road, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned why you gravitated towards getting on the health side.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you ever do you mix in the life side of things, like depending on the client, or like how what are the pros and cons, do you think? Like if a new agent was getting in the business right now, because on the independent side of things, they're like, okay, should I focus on Medicare or ACA, or you know, because they have their pros, or should I get on the life side and make, you know, maybe bigger lump sums of money, or should I lead with Medicare and kind of cross sell the final expense? Like I'm mentioning this because I have lots of agents that I've been working with the past couple of years that are generating their own leads, got unlimited amount of leads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wrote over 300,000 last year and the year before and things like that. And now they're coming to me, they talk to me, they're like, man, I love the experience that I got the past couple of years, but I wish I would have started out with Medicare because at this point of Medicare, I would have had so many plans. I would have,
Mm-hmm.
have all these residuals and a book of business, so what do you think about that? I think this is a great topic.
Okay. So coming from, well, I think I'm a great source to ask because I've done it all.
Right.
Done lawyer professional liability. I've sold health group insurance. I've sold life insurance. I've sold PNC, home and auto. You name it. I've probably sold it if it's within the realm. The only thing I probably haven't sold is commercial liability insurance, but everything else I did sell. And when I got into Medicare, I was like, God dog it. I should have started in Medicare first because Medicare, you have the opportunity to sell to people where you're not exchanging payments necessarily, unless you're selling like a lot of Medicare supplement, you are asking for information.
Mm-hmm.
But Medicare is one of those things where you can say, hey, just, you like this plan? Great. And we could go ahead and take that out of your social security check, or this plan has a zero premium. So, and also you're not, like you said, it might be harder in the beginning because Medicare doesn't pay as much as life insurance up front. But 2 years down the road, you're like, oh crap, I'm getting $3,000, $4,000 that coming in every single month or more for some people that are killer agents, right? Not everybody's killer agents.
Yeah.
I'll say for myself, I think I'm a great salesperson, but I'm not a killer agent. I'm not willing to like work 20 hours a day, right? I
Yeah,
need
because
sleep.
you did that already in your teens and 20s, right? At this point,
Yes.
you're like, yeah, I get what you're saying. But
So I'd say for somebody trying to figure it out, you got to do what's best for you, but don't be, and this is a very controversial topic because you'll have agencies saying, no, you got to do what's best for the client as a whole. I get that, but you are no good as an agent if you don't master one thing first. I'll tell you, if you master one thing first and you get that down, everything else you're going to sell is just kind of like, oh yeah, I know what that means. And I know these terms, and the processes are not that different. If you sell one product, more than likely the process for life insurance is going to be very similar to Medicare, right? You're
mhm.
calling on the lead, you're doing your presentation, you're fact finding, you're going through the sales process, you're aligning a product, and then you help them enroll. That's probably the same for every single insurance product out there. And so if you can master one thing and get really, really good at it and make a great income, I'll tell you one thing. When I first started, I started when I went independent, I was doing Obamacare. I was like, crap, the money's not coming in right now.
Yeah.
And then so I jumped into Medicare. And then that's when I started, like I was doing, as a brand new agent, I was probably doing 15 to 20 a month. And that was hitting the streets. That was grassroots marketing. That was, the little business reply cards.
Yep, yep.
I was driving 3 hours if I needed to meet a client.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
Yeah. And because I needed the money, I didn't have anybody helping me with bills, and I didn't have a significant other at the time to help me with the mortgage and the car payments. And it's tough, right?
Mhm.
So at that time, I didn't have money to invest in leads. So I had to do everything else, all the crap that nobody wants to do. Right.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
but I was so like laser focusing on Medicare. Because, once you get your license and you're out there selling, oh, you know what? You can make a lot of money in life insurance. You can make a lot of money selling ACA. How about add some critical illness and cancer? It's like all
Yeah.
these,
There's a
it's like,
lot. That's a lot. And you got to learn all the nuances and everything and all the rules. It's a lot. Yeah, it really is. So I love that you branded everything around you, the Medicare space, right? Like you all are Medicare. Anyone
mm-hmm,
talks to someone that in that office, very savvy, you all do Medicare. That's what you
mm-hmm,
do. So you're the specialist,
mm-hmm.
right? You're not the
Yep.
general agent that does this, and that. Like you said, if maybe, if it makes sense on the call, whatever, then write that plan. But
Mm-hmm.
if someone wants to talk to someone about Medicare, call over to the Medicare space.
Yep.
You're the specialist in that. So I
Yep.
think you are doing great things. So um, for an agent that's like, let's say you onboard a new agent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, what's that process look like? They're do you offer leads, or Do you
Mm-hmm.
teach them how to generate their own? Do you get them with the resource that does that? Like, what's that process? That way they can become successful. So many agents that are probably watching YouTube videos right now, getting their license. They want to get into Medicare. They heard it was great and build
Mm-hmm.
residual value. They get their license, like, all right, what do I do now?
Mm-hmm.
You need leads, you need mentorship, you need systems. Like, what does the new agent get when they onboard with you?
Yeah, like after our first call is figuring out like their goals and their needs and what they're actually looking for. Like after that call, and I have somebody said, yes, I want to move forward. For our agents, especially within our downline, with us, we don't just take on any agent because because we offer so many resources as a small agency, I feel like we offer more resources than what some of the big FMOs are offering. So we offer the free CRM, we offer a 6-month opportunity where they can get very low cost leads or free leads, working with people like you that can help us set those to get those lead costs. Because it's hard when you're buying leads at $20, but when you can get them much lower, right? It's
Yeah.
easier for us to give those away and let those individuals get their feet wet.
Right.
So but have to have a commitment, because if they're not committed to call them, as well as anybody else, if you don't call that lead like right now, it gets really cold. And if you're not calling it, we go 12 times, and after 12 times, then we abandon. But they gotta know the process. So obviously we're going to train them. And we do help train them. Like, it's not just like, okay, here's the script and go read it. We allow them to come in and listen to our top selling agents on the phone. You're literally looking at their process and like, oh, that's how you disposition. And that's how you, like, the little things. Oh, that's how you navigate between screens. So we offer that. And then we also offer other things like our producer boost program. Like they can earn up to $900 in co-op, like a month, depending on their sales. So like, whether it's a small agent just getting started or like a small agency that wants to take up their game. So that's number one. So usually within the first 6 months, we're kind of holding their hand, helping them out a
Mm-hmm.
lot. But in the process, we're going to teach them too how to do things like how to market yourself, how to get out there and create opportunities on the grassroots side, how to go knock on doors, not on doors consumers, but dental offices, provider offices.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, you don't have
Right.
the money to invest. But I know how hard it is to invest $500 a month, let alone ask you to invest $3,000 a month in leads that you hope you get a few sales out of. So
Right.
I always start off with helping them out first, and then teaching them either one, how to do it yourself, or leveraging people like you, right, that can do it for them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because not everybody's going to take the time like us that want to learn marketing and implementing strategy. So for those people, maybe they want it done for them. And so then we kind of ask them, well, are you willing to spend XYZ, or are you willing to take time to learn it? And most people go this route because it takes a
Yeah.
lot of time to learn.
Mm-hmm.
But we will match anything they need. We will basically guide them on the path. But in the first 6 months, it's kind of like the holding hand phase. And that's why we're very selective on who we bring on. We don't just, like, I've given away a few agents in the last 3 weeks, like, hey, I think you would be a good fit for these people, because I need that time buy-in,
You're
you
right.
know?
It a new agent that's got their license walking into your office, that's like a Medicare agent's brand new agent's dream. I mean, and I hope they really understand that and value everything you're giving them, because you are literally giving them different options, generating leads for them, right? To kind of
Mm-hmm.
get started, get their feet wet and learn. You're giving them direct access. They can sit next to a top producer, listen to how they sell over the phone, the exact processes, communicate while it's going on, and show the system and how you use your CRM, and how you, not only that, but also the different programs within Medicare and stuff like that, and how you get around these systems. So that's huge. That's a big deal. You'll have a really great thing going on over there. And like you said, I mean, your office probably is not for everyone. For what
Yeah.
you offer, they need to really be dialed in and bought in to where they're going to spend their time. If you're going to give them everything you have, they need to give you everything they have. And it's tough to find that. It's tough to find that.
Yeah, it is, because we've gone through a lot of agents where it's not for them. They'd rather be sitting in a retail location, I started out in retail, so there's nothing wrong with that. But if I would have taught this way first, I'd been like, damn, if I would have been taught this way with the free CRM and like a compliant way of selling, like we don't just teach you how to pick up the phone and say bullcrap, right? In Medicare, there's a lot of compliance and we follow those rules. We like follow and we have processes in place where you're not going to be making those mistakes that I probably made when I was a brand new agent, you know?
Right.
So we try our best to like, but again, the phone is not, I have agents on our team right now that they're like, Victoria, I'd rather go work 80 hours a week in the field than get on the phone for 1 minute. I'm like, hey, no problem. We can help you there too, but we know we have something special here. And without a true independent, not so we have our employees that are LOA, but we all our downline agents own their book of business. So some agents would be like, yeah, well, what's Victoria taking from you? Like, well, nothing, because I'm only going to hold your hand for the first 6 months. Because like you said earlier, it's your business, right?
Right.
You got to treat it like a business. But after those 6 months, I mean, we have trainings every Monday, every Wednesday. Our Monday calls are our strategy sessions and sales processes. Our Wednesdays are product knowledge and compliance. And then I do tailored training. So it's like, if you're not making it with us, you're probably not going to make it with somebody else. I can almost guarantee it. Unless you just don't want to get on the phone. If you don't want to get on the phone, then that's different. There's other agencies that could probably teach you. I mean, we teach grassroots marketing just as good as anybody else. But at some point, you're going to have to get on the phone, whether it's calling a doctor's office, whether it's calling a senior center, whether it's calling a dental provider, whether it's calling the carrier, whether it's calling me. At some point, you're going to have to get on the phone. So get comfortable on the phone. Get comfortable learning how to set appointments, get comfortable how to learn the sales process. But agents, what happens is in their first 2 or 3 months, they lose hope because no money's coming in. So you need to understand that in the first 6 months, there is a possibility that you're not going to make sales. Now we're going to do our best to help you get there. But if you have a mortgage and a car payment and all these things that are relying on this one source of income and you don't have a safety net, don't do what I did. Shoot. I came in with no safety net. Literally, oh, I'm going to sell 100 policies in this month because I'm that good. And no, I probably, my first month, I probably sold 8.
Wow.
Which is still pretty good for the average agent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm like, damn, but it's in October and I'm only making $20 because it's prorated, right? So yeah, I learned the hard way fast and I had to make adjustments, right, on my lifestyle.
Well, you learned the hard way. That way you can teach everyone coming in the door now how to do it the right way. And you had to go through all those situations. That way you can have everything you have now, right?
Yep.
A little earlier before we started recording, we were talking about somebody in your office that just started 18 months ago. You know, that's not a long time ago. In the first 18 months, she wrote 250 Medicare Advantage plans. Like she focuses only on Medicare Advantage. That's her thing. She's the specialist. And she wrote 250 plans past 18 months. Is that right?
So we focus on Medicare Supplement and Medicare Advantage. So I'd say new Medicare plans. We come across a lot of people that are lower income or not low income, but they don't want to go Medicare Supplement. But within the last 18 months, I think it's been right over 250. And that's not prescription drug plans. We don't count those. I know some agents, well, what is that? Is that? No, we count new. We count brand new clients to the agency. So that number might be a little bit higher. But if it was like somebody else that was my client that wanted to rewrite, we don't count those. I'm talking new clients. And this is 99.9% over the phone. I think she's only met like 5 people in person here at the office. Yeah.
That's wild. That's wild. 250 Medicare plans, true Medicare plans in the first 18 months. All over the phone in an office, you know, great atmosphere, lots of learning. You all probably grow and learn together every day, all the resources that are needed. What does that look like now? Like her going into 2023, waking up in 1st of January. I mean, how much income is that bringing in before she writes even more plans that month? I
So
mean,
so now that I know what they're capable of, I'm increasing their, like I'm telling, okay, you guys need to bring at least 30 new clients a month every month. And to some
right.
agencies, that's like it when, so we're kind of unique. We're not, I don't consider ourselves a call center. We're
Mhm.
like a local agency, like, because you could text and call, and like they're an agent just like anybody else in the field. They're just doing it over the phone.
Right.
So I told them, y'all's goal next year is not going to be what it was this year. It's going up. And
Yep.
so if I can get them to a steady 30 a month every single month outside of the annual enrollment period, then
Hmm.
I think they'll be good, They'll be happy, I'll be happy, and we're seeing that growth. And it can be done. They probably will do more, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, y'all, that needs to happen because I know what you guys are capable of. So from an agency owner standpoint, um, you kind of give that flexibility where after the 18th month, it's going to be profitable, right? And for them, they're seeing, wow, like when I first started to now, it's possible.
Right.
It's like, wow, I could just do this. Like, oh, this is all I got to do. And I'm
Right.
like, yeah, now you're now in your groove. I actually just told them this morning I'm giving them the rest of the year off. And they're like, what? So
Wow.
yeah, because I want y'all to come back firing in
Hmm.
January, where most agencies don't do that. They'll be like, well, no, it's the 21st century. Is that what they say?
Yep. Yep.
We all have voice over IP. We all have the ability to answer our phone calls from home. So it's like, why not let them take off,
Right. Go
get
recharge.
rejuvenated, come
Yep.
back.
and
Um,
and they got a clear vision, so they know they can go do their thing from home, end the year off right. Like you said, they can do little things here at home, spend time with their family, recharge. That way, that's really much needed, because when they come back, you all have a clear vision and
mhm.
everyone's ready to go 100%,
Yep.
so
Yep.
that's a big deal.
But we
Leads.
couldn't do that without leads.
Right,
Because I
like
know everybody harps on leads, like, well, leads is not that's a surefire way to tank your business. Oh, dude, if we didn't have leads, we probably wouldn't do 70% of the work. Because everybody wants the golden ticket, which is call-ins, and everybody's just calling and wanting to enroll, right? That's
mhm,
unrealistic in the beginning. It's not going to happen unless you're really spending a lot of money um in the beginning, and that's just not realistic. But we are seeing that now more because we are branding more, and we are seeing a lot more of that where we're getting those inbounds. It's like, oh, we could just do this all day. That's easy. But they're still putting in the work. Like if you, and I'll invite you one day, you just
yeah,
come in and hang out, where you see how many calls they freaking make. Cause I have the dialer. I can see how many dials. I think on average, they're dialing at least $150 a day, at least. That's, um, and so we already know down to our talk time. If we have 4 hours of talk time, you have to have at least a cell,
yep,
or two cells in that time period. Um, but you have to have the leads to call. Um, but don't buy leads, or don't run leads if you're not going to work them. Because
right,
I've been there. I'm like, shoot, we got too many leads coming in. I don't know what to do with them. Right? It's a great
right.
problem to have, especially when we're getting them for like $4 or $5 a pop. But you're going to need that. So if you don't have the money now, go out there in the field, sell, and establish a budget. 25% right now is going to go to leads now. And so you're
Hmm.
doing that plus leads. And so now you start getting into this process of investing back into your business. As an agency owner, I'm probably not like most right now. I invest everything back in the business. Like, because I get excited about this stuff. I'm like, man, if I put $1 in, I'm going to get $5 back, but I won't get it till 18 months. But still, like, I don't think about the money today. I think
Uh-huh.
about in the 18th month. I'm like, oh crap.
Yep.
That's where we're going to see that compounding interest of what you invested. But some people are not willing to wait that long.
How do you think generating your own leads kind of changed your business, from a producer standpoint and from agency owner standpoint? I mean, you kind of knock two birds out with one stone. You can give more value by generating your own leads and helping your agents up front with leads,
Yep.
or however you do those things, or having that resource. But for yourself, like, you just have tons of leads coming in. And it's great waking up every morning knowing you have tons of leads for yourself and to offer your agents and all the value that you can give. If you were still buying leads for $20 to $30, that's nuts. There's no, I mean, it would be very hard to be able to have this ball rolling how you have it going on now, right? If that's the
Yeah.
lifeblood of everything.
So I think I spent less this annual enrollment on marketing than I did last year, because I bought the direct mail, I bought the $20 stuff, and we did way more this year than what I spent, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So last year I spent way more, I got less back. This year we spent way less and got way more back
Right.
than we did last year. And so the difference in, whether it's a 50% decrease, even if you're getting that type of, it's the difference of staying in business, to be quite honest, because when you're churning out that much money every month and it's taking a little bit to get back, it's really hard to stay in business, right? For the average person that doesn't have renewals and all that. So it's not a pretty picture to paint, but when you can learn it, and there's going to be time, right, where you're probably going to need a supplement by buying stuff. But when you can learn it and take the time to really invest the time into doing that, it will change your business. I'm fired up about 2023 because I've learned the marketing side is what I love. I'm like, oh man, I love the marketing side. Right. So I no longer sell anymore. I leave that to the girls, but I'm so invested now into the marketing side and just really figuring, because it's always changing, it changes all the time. It's a full-time job. But if you have that that basic knowledge, it's a changer. It is a game changer for your business. It really is.
I love it. It really is. I mean, without that, we really don't have anything. And it's okay if you have another lead source, as long as the cost isn't ridiculous, right? It's okay. But you need to have your own in your back pocket always. That way it's an asset and you're gradually growing it, right? And it's definitely much needed for sure.
Yeah.
I appreciate you getting on today. I know we can talk about marketing. We both love marketing and all this stuff. One of these days, I'm gonna have to go to your office. Maybe we'll do like a part 2 of this video, and we can do a podcast at your office or something. There you go. It's right there, and we can just talk about marketing, organic marketing, lead gen, everything, and everything revolved around Medicare, and we do something like that. I think it'll be fun.
Let's do it.
All right. Sounds good, Victoria. Hey, is there any specific spot somebody can find you on? Instagram, Facebook, the Medicare space?
I'll make it very easy. Everything is at the Medicare space. All my social, all my websites at the Medicare space. So
there you go. There you go. All right. Well, until next time. All right. We'll talk to you soon. We'll have you back on.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Victoria.